Folks, let me tell you something right out of the gate. The sweetest sound in success is not applause. It's the silence of every critic who said you couldn't do it. You see, the world is full of people ready to doubt you, ready to laugh at you, ready to bet against you. But the good news is this: you don't have to argue with them. You don't have to fight with them. You don't even have to convince them. All you have to do is prove them wrong. Welcome, my friends, to a journey of faith, fire, and fight, where every you can't becomes you did, and every limitation becomes a launch pad. You've just stepped into the arena of champions, and I'm here to remind you that the victory is already inside you. Every time somebody looks you in the eye and says, "You can't do it," they're handing you a gift. Yes, a gift. That doubt is nothing but high-octane fuel for your engine of determination. The naysayers, they're like free gas stations on the highway to your dream. You see, doubt doesn't have the power to stop you unless you let it. But if you take it, bottle it up, and throw it on the fire inside you, it becomes unstoppable energy. When they whisper, "You're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you're not ready," that's not your cue to quit. That's your invitation to rise. The critics don't write your story. The doubters don't sign your paycheck. The haters don't determine your destiny. Their words are empty, but your actions are powerful. And every time you take one more step, one more swing, one more leap, you're proving that doubt is nothing but fuel for the driven heart. So when they doubt you, don't get angry, don't get discouraged. Just smile, tighten your grip, and say to yourself, "Thank you for the gas. Now watch me drive past you." Most folks look at obstacles like they're brick walls meant to stop them. But let me tell you something. An obstacle is not a wall, it's a doorway. It just happens to be dressed in overalls, wearing its work boots, and saying, "Come on in if you're willing to sweat." Opportunity never shows up with a red carpet and a marching band. No, it comes disguised as a challenge, a setback, a problem that tests your will. And here's the truth. The very thing that looks like it was sent to break you was really sent to build you. That mountain in front of you, it's not blocking your path, it is your path. The rough terrain, the closed doors, the sleepless nights, those are the very tools that sharpen your edge and carve your character. When life hands you an obstacle, don't curse it. Don't run from it. Smile at it and say, "Thank you for showing up. You're just an opportunity in work clothes, and I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves." Because once you push through, you'll realize the obstacle wasn't standing in your way. It was pointing the way. Life is less about what happens to you and more about how you respond to it. Storms will come. People will doubt you. Circumstances will try to knock the wind out of your sails. But here's the truth. It's not the storm that determines where you end up. It's the set of your sail. And that sail is called your attitude. Two people can face the exact same problem. One sees it as the end. The other sees it as a bend in the road. One complains, the other conquers. Same storm, different altitude. Your attitude is like the elevator button in life. Press the down button with negativity, fear, and excuses, and you'll sink every time. But press the up button with gratitude, faith, and determination, and nothing can keep you on the ground. Attitude isn't a feeling, it's a choice. And when you choose to lift your eyes higher, you rise higher. When you choose to believe instead of doubt, persist instead of quit, and give thanks instead of grumble, you don't just survive the storm, you soar above it. So remember this: talent may open doors, but attitude decides how high you fly once you walk through them. If you want altitude, you've got to guard your attitude, because your future is rising or falling on the wings of your mindset. Everybody wants to break through, the big moment, the spotlight, the applause, but very few are willing to pay the Without discipline, desire is just a wish. With discipline, desire becomes destiny. Discipline is the bridge between what you dream and what you do, between potential and performance, between ordinary and extraordinary. So don't wait for a miracle. Become one. Put discipline to work every day and watch how suddenly people call you lucky. It wasn't luck. It was discipline turning the impossible into your breakthrough. Every battle in life is won twice. First in your heart, then in the ring. And the difference maker in the heart is faith. Faith is that inner voice that whispers, "Keep swinging" when your arms are tired. It's the quiet confidence that says, "The victory is mine," even when the scoreboard says you're behind. Faith is the invisible energy that turns an ordinary man or woman into a giant slayer. Without faith, the fight feels impossible. You'll quit when it hurts, you'll retreat when it costs too much, and you'll surrender when it looks too hard. But with faith, with faith you become dangerous. With faith you walk into the fire and come out refined. With faith you take the punch, get back up and smile because you know the story isn't over. Faith doesn't mean the fight will be easy. It means the fight will be worth it. It means you've already decided the outcome before the bell rings. Faith fuels persistence. Faith fuels courage. Faith fuels victory. So when the world says, give up, you answer with faith and say, stand back. I've just begun to fight. Because the one who fights with faith will always outlast the one who fights with fear. You don't have to argue with a critic. You don't have to debate with a doubter. You don't even have to waste your breath trying to convince the world. Why? Because the loudest voice you'll ever have is your results. People may doubt your words, but they cannot deny your fruit. Talk is cheap. Results are priceless. Results silence the gossip, quiet the critics, and drown out the doubters. When you produce, when you deliver, when you rise above, you don't need to defend yourself. Your life becomes the defense. Results are like a trumpet blast in a crowded room. They cut through every excuse, every opinion, every negative whisper. No one can argue with a finished product, a closed deal, a dream achieved. So don't waste energy trading words with people who don't believe in you. Put that energy into building, working, creating, and achieving. Because once the results are in, you won't need to shout, I told you so. The world will already know. Remember, results are not just numbers on a scoreboard. They are the undeniable proof that you refuse to quit, you refuse to bow, and you chose to let victory speak for you. And that, my friend, is the answer that no critic can erase. Every dream worth chasing comes with resistance. Resistance from fear. Resistance from fatigue. Resistance from people who say it can't be done. But let me tell you this. Persistence will break down what resistance tries to hold up. Persistence is the hammer that shatters the wall. It's the steady drip of water that carves through stone. It's showing up again and again and again, long after everyone else has packed up and gone home. The truth is, resistance isn't proof that you're on the wrong path. Resistance is proof you're on the right one. Nobody tries to stop what doesn't matter. The obstacles, the delays, the closed doors, they're just signals that you're carrying something powerful enough to change the game. And here's the beauty of persistence. You don't have to win in one blow. You don't need to conquer the mountain in a single step. All you need to do is keep pressing, keep climbing, keep moving. One step, one swing, one push at a time, until resistance finally bows its head and says, I can't stop this one. Persistence always beats resistance because resistance is temporary, but persistence is eternal. The man or woman who refuses to quit cannot be defeated. Stay at it, stay in it, and sooner or later the walls will crumble under your persistence. Too many people quit on their dreams because they're waiting for perfection. They think if it's not flawless, it's worthless. But let me tell you the truth. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Every step forward counts. Every inch gained matters. Champions aren't built in giant leaps. They're built in small, consistent strides. The oak tree doesn't shoot up. When you stop to honor progress, you refuel your spirit. You remind yourself that the journey is working, the effort is paying off, and the breakthrough is closer than it looks. Don't wait for the finish line to cheer. Celebrate every mile, every lesson, every small victory along the way, because it's the celebration of progress that gives you the strength to keep chasing perfection, even if you never fully catch it. The truth is, perfection may inspire, but progress is what transforms. And every step of progress is another nail in the coffin of every critic who said you couldn't make it. Victory isn't won when the crowd cheers. It isn't even won when the scoreboard lights up. Victory is won in the decision long before the fight ever begins. Champions are not made in the ring, they are simply revealed there. The battle just exposes the choice they already made. A choice to never quit. A choice to give everything. A choice to rise no matter how many times they've been knocked down. The difference between a champion and everyone else isn't strength, speed, or skill. It's decision. The decision that says, no matter what it costs, I will not stop until I win. When a champion steps onto the field, into the arena, or onto the stage, they're not wondering if they'll make it. The decision has already been made. I will fight. I will endure. I will finish. That's why champions walk with confidence, because the outcome has already been settled in their heart. If you wait until the battle to decide, you're already too late. The fire must be lit before the first punch is thrown. The commitment must be made before the first obstacle shows up. So decide today. Decide that no matter the odds, no matter the critics, no matter the pain, you will not quit, because once the decision is made, the battle is already yours. Champions don't wonder if they'll win. They show up knowing they already have. You don't need to argue with doubters. You don't need to clap back at critics. You don't even need to waste your breath trying to convince anybody of your worth. Why? Because the loudest message you'll ever deliver isn't spoken, it's lived. Talk is cheap, but a life of results is priceless. You can preach with words, but you prove with action. Let the doubters laugh, let the skeptics sneer, let the critics chatter, while you quietly stack victories one by one until your life becomes undeniable evidence that you were right to believe. Your success is the only microphone you'll ever need. When you win that contract, when you cross that finish line, when you break through the ceiling they swore you couldn't touch, the applause won't come from your mouth, it will come from your life. A tree doesn't argue about what kind it is. It just grows, bears fruit, and lets the harvest speak for itself. That's the secret. Stop wasting energy trying to prove who you are. Pour all of it into becoming who you're meant to be. Because at the end of the day, people may forget what you said, but they can't deny what you've shown. So live in such a way that your actions shout louder than any critic's words, and let your life do the talking.